Alright, so hello everyone and welcome back to Matchup Monday, where this time, as you guys wanted, we are taking a look at the Golden Bat versus Titania matchup. Definitely a really cool and of course a recent one that still is quite new to us as well as it is probably for you because Titania, of course, is not that long available yet. So it was definitely a cool one. We decided to play on basketball manner. Again, we will play two games, one from each side, so you'll get to see both perspectives once. Um, but yeah, before we actually jump into the games themselves, why don't we take a small moment to look at the most key interactions in the matchup that you probably don't want to miss. Okay, so first I want to talk about the importance of Oberon in the current matchup. First of all, of course, he has Met by Moonlight, which is a printed 5 value attack, and since Titania's goal at the start will probably be to put a lot of pressure on Bat and probably try to kill him before she then maybe later will switch to a kind of exhaustion plan, depending on what cards were already used, if she has a lethal or not. So Oberon usually will swing for these fives whenever he can. On the other hand, he can also swing for another 3/5s with Fairy Song, which of course depends on Titania having an active Glamour. And then, one that I also mentioned in my Titania Gate, Parting Gift. I think Parting Gift is pretty underrated for Oberon. If you have a situation where he maybe already took a lot of damage, you might just want to attack with this to kill him off by yourself, to not give your opponent the pass of actually attacking him, so that you kill him on your own terms, which is probably always better. Also dealing 2 auto damage to Golden Bat in this case. So these are the 3 ones that you'll usually see Oberon attack with. Now, for Golden Bat, of course, he has a couple of block options, but I think the safest one in this case is always he laughs at your feebleness, because well, Met by Moonlight and Fairy Song are both just 5 value attacks, so you can't really do much wrong by playing this. And in the case that he plays Parting Gift, well, Oberon will also take 2 damage, so it becomes a bit more predictable, and you probably won't play it too early while he still has health, because he needs that health to stay alive to actually get all of his fives through and get some good damage. Now, if you're worried about Parting Gift, you could of course go for something like Imposing Presence, which would also stop a Fairy Song, but is a bit bad against Met by Moonlight. And then lastly, you also technically have Skirmish, which is probably the second best option if you don't have a Feebleness in hand right now. You can still block for 4, and don't feel as sad if it's a Parting Gift, because at least you can then move yourself, maybe adjacent to Titania once Oberon is dead or whatever. So yeah, these 3 are probably your best options, although Feebleness will probably be just the safest block overall to throw into Oberon without many repercussions. Okay, so now that we talked about how important Oberon probably is, let's see what ways Bat actually has to get rid of him. Well, first of all, he could play something like Vaporizing Eye-Beams, which with his ability online would be a 4 that discards a random card. That is mostly useful to probably get rid of some other defense that he can use. Of course, Oberon's best answer probably would something be like a Protection of the Fairy Wisps, if he has a active Glamour to cancel the random discard, although that card is a bit scary to play, because, well, you also could swing with something like a 7, if you have your ability online, of course, with Golden Bat. So I think always canceling against Golden Bat when he has his ability online is always really risky. At least with this, the biggest punish would be taking 5 damage, so Oberon could at least stay alive with 1 health, and since you have healing, you can probably keep him alive a bit better. One of the most consistent blocks should probably be Whisk Away, because you can prevent double attacks. If you should ever find yourself in a situation where you went in with Oberon, maybe Bat played a terrifying roar, so you have to stay where you're at, and then, well, you can play this as first defense to always run away. It would only take 3 damage from the super strength and no damage from eye beams. And then you could play something like a Fairy Song on defense as a 5, but that is usually more often than not used on attack, because you need that extra bit of damage to actually get rid of Golden Bat's insane 18 health total. And other than that, if Oberon is near to dying, I would again recommend to play a parting gift just so that he dies on your own terms. Now, of course, if you have Oberon adjacent to you and you expect something like a Whisk Away as a first defense from Oberon, Golden Bat might want to throw something like an Inside of the Ancients, because of course that returns a random card in your discard pile to your hand if you win the combat. So Oberon has to defend with 4 or lower and don't cancel. So if you're expecting a Fairy Song, you probably don't want to throw it because that would full block, and you feel a bit sad because this effect in the matchup can actually be pretty important because at some point maybe Golden Bat will lack some attacks to actually finish off Titania if she's at Glamour of Sleep, or he will get maybe a random discard back or any other key card. I think in this matchup the card is a bit more important and also a bit more useful because you can trigger it more reliably. Most notably, if Titania doesn't have a Glamour, she doesn't actually have a way to stop it, which is really cool. On Oberon at least. Titania herself, of course, has but a dream, but we'll talk about that next. Okay, so this time I want to just incentivize how important but a dream is in this matchup. Not only basically returns it the card back to Golden Bat's hand and basically wastes his +2 turn because usually he will play one of his schemes first action and then slap you with a +2. You just negate that whole +2 attack turn, which is really, really good for you. But it also draws you an additional card, where you can just dig through your deck. Maybe at some point you will have a lethal out, and Golden Bat will of course then try to pressure you as hard as possible and just attack all the time. This is where But a Dream can really buy you some time against any of these attacks. Effects don't happen, value doesn't matter, they just don't get played. You draw an additional card, maybe find your way out, and then can find the last damage to kill him. Usually with some auto damage, but still, really, really good card. I definitely want to incentivize how good this is. Well, now that that is out of the way, why don't we jump right into the game? Now, as you see, we chose Basketball Manor as the map because it has good qualities for both fighters. It has a move for center on each of the passageways for Bat to always use Alpine, whereas for Titania, she can always play around with Glamour of Invisibility and Glamour of Love. So she has a good advantage with the passageways, but of course, Bat can do a lot of stuff. Now, you see my opening hand here is really defensive, and I really like it because at the start, of course, Titania will probably try to really aggress me, and that's why I decide to keep. Now, we see first Glamour of Jealousy, so it probably makes my life a bit harder whenever I want to kill Oberon at the start of the game, but at the other hand, Titania will probably not keep this Glamour very long just due to the fact that, yeah, she wants her card effects to actually happen, so yeah. She decides to go for a double maneuver, cut me off from the secret passage on the top. I guess that's fine for me. I will just double maneuver, and my goal is probably to force Oberon into adjacency whenever he attacks without boosting, just so that he wants to come close there. Because I, of course, have a Terrifying Roar in hand, and I'd like to use that instantly to get rid of him, but Dani, of course, doesn't fall for the bait. He just goes in for an attack with Titania. I decide to go for a cancel, just safest option overall because I want to keep my 5s for Oberon whenever he attacks. Turns out to be into a Fairy Song, so I'm good with that. I'll go and attack. Vaporizing Eye Beams gets cancelled, but at least that now means again that Glamour of Jealousy is gone, so now I can kind of safely go for Oberon once I get my schemes. Now, Glamour Prime. Let's see, how many action gains does Titania get from her schemes? First of all, she plays the sexiest card in all of Unmatched. Looking at my hand, she can put one card back in my deck and then shuffle it. That's really cool for me now because all my hand is stacked with defenses. So yeah, she will actually decide to play both of them and put back Flash of Golden Light and Inside of the Ancients. Now for me it's tricky because She didn't put my 5 back, so I'm really expecting a bait attack. That's why I'm throwing a roar first, which turns out to be the right call. Titania draws her 1 from As Wise as Beautiful, discards her Glamour, so she draws a second one, keeping up hand advantage, because she knows I don't have any big attack in hand. So yeah, second one, I go for the 5, because now she'll probably go for something bigger that she drew. Yep, turns out to be a whisk away, so I guess that worked okay for me, but of course it wasn't great because I had to spend a 5 not into Oberon, so I'll probably take some damage from him later just due to that. Now I maneuver twice into the passage, so Titania has to boost to get to me. Um, she's now on Glamorous Sleep, so any auto damage doesn't work, which might be a bit alarming because I have to watch her for something like Parting Gift, and Punch to Shake the Earth doesn't work, but I mean Punch is Punch, so Now Titania actually does decide to boost her maneuver to keep up the pressure. Um, she's thinking about whether she wants to end adjacent to me or not as a bait. Um, maybe has something like But a Dream in hand to blank my card. I don't know. I think this is another bait, but yeah, okay, it's not. Well, that's what you get from overthinking things too much. I thought, well, he knows I have another 5, so yeah. I decided to play Alpine on def here to shuffle back 5, and I instantly draw it again. So yeah, pretty nice. And I actually think I missed my effect there from vaporizing eye beams. I think I just forgot to use it because the card is so bad. Um, I go for the punch attack on Oberon, which wow actually works. And hold up, if this tricked you as well, it's funny because we actually forgot to put Oberon's health dial in there. So Dani just started um, taking damage on Titania. We were like, wait, what? No, that's not right. So yeah, great outcome because he defended with Ape Lying 2. So I guess in this case, Punch wasn't that useless. But I definitely would have rather attacked with anything else there because he didn't have a Glamour, so I could probably deal some good damage. So yeah. I'll decide to go for a maneuver after Dani double maneuvered and, well, relocated Oberon to the other side of the board. Um, I'll stay there in the pocket just to force adjacency if Titania wants to attack, which in this case doesn't really work out because he plays Gift of the Fairfall, moving both me and Oberon, so Oberon is now adjacent to me and I'm on the other side of the map again. He attacks, well, yeah, probably 5, so I defend with a 5. Again, this is just the probably safest proc into Oberon. I just chill and double maneuver. If you see my golden button here, you see I have 2 of the useless cards in hand, so I don't have to rush at all. He plays another Gift of the Fair Folk, um, now on Glamour of Greed as well. So yeah, attacking with another 5. Um, again, I block with a 5, and yeah, this is where Glamour of Greed is just really good. I decided to go for another attack on Oberon. This time, again, a punch because I want to keep my defenses in hand. Now, Dani has to think because it's already 3 damage from punch to take the earth. If he also deals the 2 damage with Parting Gift now, Oberon would die. He has used 2 of his 5s and 2 Fairy Songs, so I guess he got good value out of him. And that's why he also will decide to actually kill him right now. So I always have to approach Titania, who is of course way scarier than Oberon is. Good thing is, because Punch actually deals damage to each fighter in the zone, Titania also took 2 from that interaction, so hey, that Punch actually dealt 5 damage. Holy, that was really good. Yeah, Titania goes for a nice and refreshing maneuver, and then attacks. Is reconsidering where is he going now. So yeah, I take 1 because I want to keep the Flash of Golden Light for when she's double attacking me, or I actually get to use them on offense. And this time I don't forget to use the inside effect. I put Fairy Song on the bottom of the top 3 because of course that's a 5 value attack and I don't have good defense for that. And Parting Gift on top because Titania is not on Scare or Sleep anymore. And yeah. I maneuver and attack because she was at 2 cards in hand. She actually basically wastes a Butter Dream against a punch right here, so that is really good. I, of course, also just now know 2 cards out of 3 in her hand, which are As Wise as Beautiful and then Parting Gift, so I'm not that scared of any attacks. So yeah, block with Flash. Now I could go adjacent to her, but since she discarded her Glamour and is on 4 cards back in hand, I'd rather just run away and double maneuver, keeping away. Um, she draws into Glamour Invisibility, which is really good on this map because she can always move through passages that I occupy and just don't really care. So she basically has a move to center now, wherever she is. I also double maneuver again because I need defense. As you see, I only have 2 in hand. She maneuvers, goes next to me. That's the only good thing for me in that interactions is that if she does boost, I always adjacent to her. Does decide to go for the Parting Gift, probably doesn't have anything better to attack with. We both take 2. I decide to go for the counter attack with I-beams just to pressure her hand size a bit more. Whisk Away is a decent block into that, don't deal damage, but at least I still get the random discard. And let's see what that hits. Ooh, juicy. A Queen of the Fairies. Now, that's definitely good for me, because that card could be quite scary later. We'll see. Just checking discard piles here a bit, just to see what she has left for defense. It's not too much, but again, I have a good time here. So yeah, I just chill in the corner, maneuver again, and wait for her to come to me. She gets Glamour of Love after she discarded for Whisk Away to actually just warp around the board. Is thinking about where to move me now because of course she can move me 1 space before, which again on basketball is just insanely good because she can move me through the passage. And yeah, well, I don't have anything great to attack with, and I actually missed something here because Flash of Golden Light in this interaction should have been a 4, so I would have taken 2 less damage actually, which maybe or maybe not would have changed the game. Yeah, that happens when you just play a bit too fast, so don't take a example on this. Don't play as fast as we do. We're usually just used to it, but yeah, I just totally missed that there that it triggers on defense. So yeah, vaporizing ivy beams goes into a cancel. It's okay, I guess. 2 damage, and then I just back off again. Now Titania, since she got the Glamour Sleep on bottom with Met by Moonlight, not Met by Moonlight. What is the card again? The 3 value versatile. The moon looks down. I knew there was something like moon. She's on sleep now, which means, well, she wins exhaustion, but at the same time, it looks like I'll have a lot more cards than she has. And ouch. Well, let's take 4 damage, lads. That's a 7 value attack. Yeah, nothing better I have to defend there. Even Flash wouldn't trigger in this time. So yeah, from this time on, Titania has lethal because she has 2 glances, and I don't have anything to do against that. So I just go for the Alpine, and well, it's either just go Unga Bunga now, and try to slap her instantly, or try to find another I-beams to actually hit the glance out of hand. I decided to do the last thing because as she's looking right now, I'm pretty sure that she had a But a Dream in hand there, so at least I'll try to get rid of one of them. She maybe thinks it's bait or whatever. So Alpine again. Now I actually draw into my skirmishes and the cancel, which could have been useful earlier. And at this point it doesn't really matter because the chance that she doesn't have But a Dream is just basically 0. Yep, she has it, so card gets returned. She gets her 2 glances, and I'm dead. Well, imagine if I had 2 additional health here and maybe survive that. Who knows? But yeah, that was a quite the fast first game. You see Dani celebrating there, although he didn't actually win because he just won because I didn't pay attention. Pro players, by the way. Pro players, both top 16 in Summer of Legends. And we make such stupid mistakes. Really good. Um, but yeah, I think it still was a good example of how the matchup usually goes. As you see, Titania was completely out of cards in deck, and I still had 7 left, so Golden Matt is not really playing his usual exhaust game, because, well, you will win that anyways, but it's more so about actually knowing when to pressure her hand size, when to kill Obi. I think I should have gone in with the 5-1 turn earlier with the Alpine, just to test if she has Spotted Dream or not. And since she only had 1 card in hand, well, chances are that she maybe doesn't have both glances after the draw. It's kind of 2/3 chance, but yeah. Anyways, let's jump over and look at the Titania's perspective of this. Okay, we're back. This time, of course, playing from the Titania side. Let's say if we make another game-changing mistakes again. Not playing wise, but just forgetting that card effects exist. We'll see. Um, it's definitely something that shouldn't happen again, or I'll lose my credibility of actually being a good player. So yeah, opening hand. I see Oberon 5, very much appreciated. And I see About a Dream, also very much appreciated, because this time I'm going second as Titania. So on the first turn I don't have any actual glamour, so I can't use my glamour discard effect, which Golden Bat will instantly exploit, going for an attack after the boost. So yeah, I just dream it. And yeah, Vaporizing Iron Beams. Don't want to get random discarded with these cards in hand, because I have 2/5s, which is really good. And yeah. Glamour of Sleep early. Well, actually quite good for me, I guess, because I can just instantly get rid of it to put it back on bottom with Moon Looks Down. Oberon slaps Golden Bat, takes 2, but has to stay there because of Roar. And now I'm thinking, well, cancel, not cancel, cancel, not cancel. I'll decide to go with a cancel, but ouch. I really expected the Vaporizing I-Beams again there, because he still had them in hand. And Oberon is down to 1 health. Woohoo! Well, at least now I can block them with a 5. So Oberon stays alive, I guess. Random discard hits Glance. Oh boy, this is a bad start. Oberon down to 1 health. Glance gone. Oof, oof. Oh, Glamour of Love. Is it something that I can be happy about? Probably. Um, move Bat the 1 space. Put Titania up front so I can hide Oberon behind Bat after the attack. I also decided to go for the attack here because Bat only has 2 cards in hand, and I'd rather use the 5 now before Bat builds up his hand again, runs away, and then actually goes and kills Obi before I can use it. He decides to maneuver and attack, so it won't be something big, so I decide to play the Moon Looks Down to get Sleep back on bottom, Vaporizing I-Beams again, discarding me the Fairy Song. It hurts, I lost so much value. Yeah, I just double maneuver here. See a Parting Gift, which is quite nice, to get the Obi overkill at the end. Whenever he's attacking Obi now, I can always play that on defense to deal him 2 damage back, which is perfect for me. He maneuvers and then is thinking about what he will recur with the first Alpine. He decides to go for the I-Beams. Definitely makes sense. Just giving Titania as low value as possible is probably a good idea. He now discarded so much stuff from me that it will be hard for me to actually kill him from now on. But we'll see. So maybe my game plan will switch from the exhaustion Titania, from the damage Titania to exhaustion Titania. We'll see. I draw into the Oberon scheme now, which I guess is okay. I don't really need it at this situation. I also don't have Glamour of Rhyme yet, but ooh, that's something that I really like. It's another 5. So yeah, I'll just have Obi slap, keeping Titania where she's at so I can put Obi on the passage again. He decides to feint, so well, I guess he will attack now, and then I can at least overkill Obi with Parting Gift, which is exactly what I will do. Um, he takes advantage of this, at least, getting back the, instead of the ancients, um, we just roll a dice to see what he gets back, and cancel. Not great. Not great, because I don't really have a good punish for that anymore, since Obi is dead. Um, my biggest attack now is 4, so cancel is probably his best block forever now. I maneuver, and I'm really thinking what to do. Um, where I always want to move him, because on this map, of course, if he's on the passage, well, I have multiple options. It goes for the arrive. I expect flash, and yep, it is flash, so I cancel. Discard to actually cancel the effect. Don't need Glamour of Love anymore. So next one, visibility. Again, usually pretty useless on this map. Actually quite nice. He attacks. I attack with Voice is Beautiful to bait out the cancel, and it does also get played. So now I can just maneuver away, jump to the passage. He alpines the cancel again. Definitely makes sense. He doesn't need his alpine recursion because, well, as we saw earlier, Bat will just win the value game no matter what. So yeah. He goes aggressive again, brushing my hand size because Titania, of course, doesn't have many actual combat cards and so many schemes. He goes for vaporizing eye beams. I cancel again, but again, also take 2 damage. So yeah. Now, this is what I like. Glamour of Greed, drawing 1 at the end of turn. Really cool. Um, I decide to play the Gift of a Fair Folk, healing, and draw 2, just to keep up pressure. And if I attack now, I can also then just draw at the end of turn again. Attack with that's why it's beautiful. Into skirmish, good bait, definitely for me. Um, Good outcome. I'm thinking about discarding greed, and I'll actually do it. Um, because now I'm really just drawing into schemes. So Glamour of Rhyme can get exponentially more useful for me. And I also just want to get rid of glamours to get to the high value fairy queens. Um, I was a bit too fast there again because Dani was still thinking of what to do. He double maneuvered um, and just thinks about where to be, but then actually decides to stay there. Um, Glamour Prime. Hey, we just talked about it. Now, this is interesting. Where do I actually go to slap him? I decide to do this to not trigger flash on defense, and also to just not be adjacent to him. Glance into another Gift of a Fair Folk drawing to gaining action. This is your usual rhyme term. Imagine if Obi was alive here. And then I attack and wabadabadoo. Wee, wee, wee. 5 damage, nice. We definitely like that. And then we have another attack and ouch. Ouch. Well, about not having enough damage to kill him. Um, I guess that just shows again that even though Bat can pressure Titania's hand size a lot, he has to be so careful and always have at least 2 defenses in hand probably in this matchup, because at any point Glamour of Rhyme could come and just pop off. It's always one thing that you can do when playing against Titania. If Glamour of Rhyme is not out yet, have at least 2 defenses in hand. It's so scary because you don't know when it will come. Just as she doesn't know, but that makes it even scarier. But yeah, overall, I think this matchup is just totally even. It just depends on combat interactions. I think if Bat is pretty cautious about how he plays, he definitely can take the win. I think Basketball in this case probably helped Titania a bit more than Bat himself, but technically if we count the first one as a win for Bat, because it would have been, then we have a 1-1, which definitely fits. And yeah, it just shows, of course, you can go aggressive with Golden Bat in this matchup and pressure the hand size, but you always have to worry about your own survivability before that, usually, because killing Titania won't be your main objective from the start. Maybe later once she gets to Glamour of Sleep on bottom, but yeah. So that was it for me for matchup Monday, and yeah, I'll have the poll for the next matchups up when you see this video, so go ahead, vote again in my community tab which matchup you want to see next. I also got a suggestion from the Discord for Strategy Sunday to take a look at Spike. I think it would fit quite well for the upcoming Halloween season, so I might change my plans there a bit. Maybe after the Genie one, I'll just instantly put in Spike because it kind of fits. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.